what I would like to first set as an expectation is that whether or not to use a framework like Hibernate, a persistence framework or an OR mapping framework like Hibernate. That's not so the point of this session is not to debate whether it's advantageous to use something like Hibernate or not. There are different schools of thought, and there are different communities who have different views in using frameworks like Hibernate, and the way to use it, whether or not to use it, etc. So this session's objective is not to promote any particular school of thought, but it's just to give developers try to get developers started with Hibernate when they want to use it. So that's setting one more expectation for this session. So now, I think see what is Hibernate, why use Hibernate, and how to use Hibernate are the three most important points which we're going to look at. But before we start with that, it's very important to know where Hibernate fits in to your in your application, whether it's a web-based application or it could be a standalone application. Hibernate basically fits into the data access layer primarily. So if you have a typical 3-tiered or an n-tiered, n-layered application where you generally have a presentation layer, with all the GUI stuff, your JavaScript libraries, your MVC frameworks, etc. You would have a service layer which would have your business logic, validations, etc. And you would have a data access layer where where you put in code which access your data. Now that data could be in a database, it could be through a web service, it could be through a message-oriented middleware. It doesn't matter. The data access layer is basically responsible for fetching and storing data in the format which is required by your application. So I guess Robin here has asked a question. I will be taking questions online also, because there will be certainly questions which are specific or contextual to the slide which I am showing. So parking it to till the end of the session would maybe remove the context. So I think Robinson has just asked a question whether Hibernate is a framework or a object-oriented modeling tool. Where Hibernate is a full-fledged persistence framework, and when we go through the session, it'll get clear as to why it is a persistence framework and not only an object-oriented modeling tool. So with that, again, coming back to the data access layer. So I've already specified what the data access layer is supposed to do within your application. Let's see how a data access layer would have looked or looks when you haven't started using a persistence framework or